My two favorite climats in Nuits-Saint-Georges, it's Nuits-Saint-Georges Premier Cru Les Saint-Georges, situated in the south part of Nuits-Saint-Georges. Les Saint-Georges was classified as a Premier Cru. This Premier Cru gave the name to Nuits-Saint-Georges. It was a vineyard owned by some brotherhood, the Brotherhood of Les Saint-Georges. And this climat, it's the oldest climat in Nuits-Saint-Georges. We find the first mention of this appellation in the 10th century. And this is why we say that Les Saint-Georges, this is one of the oldest. Why I like Nuits-Saint-Georges Premier Cru Les Saint-Georges? Because Nuits-Saint-Georges, Les Saint-Georges, this is a sort of blend of all what we can find in Nuits-Saint-Georges. The structure of Les Saint-Georges, the structure of the appellation with a good tannins, and also the finesse of the appellation. In this appellation, you have the clay and also a very small limestone give something very fine to this wine. This wine is really the quintessence of what we can find in Nuits-Saint-Georges. This is the best harmony of the wine we can find in Nuits-Saint-Georges. The second climat I like in Nuits-Saint-Georges, this is Nuits-Saint-Georges Premier Cru Les Bouteaux. Premier Cru Les Bouteaux is situated in the Vaune-Romanée side, on the north side of Nuits-Saint-Georges, and this is a neighbor of the Vaune-Romanée Premier Cru Malconsort. I like this climat because Les Bouteaux always show a very nice elegance, softness, roundness. It's really exactly the type of wine we find in the north side of Nuits-Saint-Georges. We call the hill of Nuits-Saint-Georges and Vaune-Romanée. And this climat shows something more feminine and more elegant. If we have to describe if Nuits-Saint-Georges is more a man or woman, I would like to say both. Why? Because the Nuits-Saint-Georges, situated in the south part of Nuits-Saint-Georges, is more like a man. Because better structure, better shoulder, more powerful, this is a little bit more masculine. In the other part of Nuits-Saint-Georges, the north part, is more the elegance, the softness, the complexity, exactly what we find with the woman. And it's why I think Nuits-Saint-Georges, it's between the man and woman. This is the harmony of the wine. If I have to compare Nuits-Saint-Georges to a famous man, I will choose two men. The first is the Rabelais, for the Rabelaisian side. The Rabelais like something very simple, like the good, to share a good meal, a good wine with some good people, like the good mood. It's simple, that's what we say in France, a bon vivant. Also, in Nuits-Saint-Georges, I think the complexity, I can think about Molière. Molière, this is the philosophical side, the common sense. Make the wine in Nuits-Saint-Georges and take care about the terroir, ask a common sense. If I have to recommend a nice wine pairing with some food, it could be, why not, with a fish. A fish could be very interesting with red wine. A fish, it could be like a red mullet or a monkfish. It could be very interesting. I had in the past a few times some very nice pairing with the Nuits-Saint-Georges, and the red wine from Bourgogne with fish, it's work. Do it. My best memory and my best emotion I had in the wine I've tasted in Nuits-Saint-Georges was the Nuits-Saint-Georges Premier Cru Les Saint-Georges 1914. This wine we have opened 2 years ago was very interesting because at the beginning when we have opened the wine was a little bit tired, and I've decided to put this wine on the side. And 15 minutes later, I taste this wine again. And when I begin to smell and to taste this wine, I've seen in this wine 100 years of history, 100 years of what you can remember what happened in 100 years. And in this type of wine, you taste the wine and you don't listen what happened around you. You make a sort of communion with the wine, with your glass and yourself. Sometimes I like to say to the people, don't taste this type of wine with your brain. Don't be too much intellectual with the wine. Taste this wine with your heart, with your emotion. This is, I think, the most important thing in the wine. And this wine, I'm sure I will remember for all my life. The best moment to open a bottle of Nuits-Saint-Georges, it's not for the lunch for me, it's for the dinner. There are some wine for lunch, you can drink easily and faster, and there are some wine for dinner. A wine for dinner, You can take time. You can open 1 or 2 hours before. You can give some oxygen to the wine. It's something very important with the wine of Nuits-Saint-Georges. You have to share. Never open a bottle of Nuits-Saint-Georges alone. Always share with a good friend. And remember, when you open a bottle of Nuits-Saint-Georges, the last glass is always the best.